Okay, this question asks you to take these line structures and turn them into Lewis structures. So there's two things to catch on to here. Drawing Lewis structures is a pain. It takes a lot more time than line structures. And the other thing, the main thing, is you got to remember where all the lone pairs are, and you got to remember where all the hydrogens are. Everything's going to have an octet. So let me go ahead and just start out with some frameworks of the first two. We can fill in a couple of things that we're missing on each one of them. Let's start out with the first one. So I've got a six-membered ring, alternating carbon, single bond, double bond, and I've got an SH off one side. I went ahead and filled in all the hydrogens. Remember, all the molecules are going to have octets. Formal charges will always be listed in line bond structures or line structures. So if you don't see a formal charge listed, it's not there. So let's go ahead and fill in the lone pairs in order to get those formal charges to equal zero. The oxygen should have two lone pairs, and so should the sulfur. Okay, I filled in less stuff for the next one. I went ahead and just wrote out the carbon framework to kind of show you where I would start drawing out the carbon framework. I did go ahead and add some nitrogens in the framework so I can draw the five-membered ring. And now what I want to do is I want to add all the hydrogens. Now, this hydrogen for the nitrogen is shown in the line structure because heteroatoms must have their hydrogens shown in order to understand what the number of lone pairs should be. So there's going to be a lone pair here, but this nitrogen on the bottom, all it has is a lone pair. There are no missing hydrogens in the structure. That's how I get a zero formal charge. Now, of course, all the carbons have octets, so I have to come along and fill in all of the hydrogens needed in order to complete those octets. Okay, so that's the last one. So progressively getting a little bit more in depth. And so let's do this other one and let's do all of it. So I've got a carbon here. It's connected to an oxygen on either side. We're going to form kind of a pentagon. So I need to be sure to put the bonds around in a pentagon. Then these two carbons are connected to an oxygen. Okay, I've got all the main atoms and all the main bonds written down. Let's figure out what's missing. Well, I've got some lone pairs on all the oxygens. Even this oxygen, of course, is going to have two lone pairs to make a neutral formal charge. All of the carbons will have four bonds, so they need their hydrogens in order to fill out the Lewis structure. And so here we are. We've got all three Lewis structures.